and hello. So our objective in this video is how to install Netapp 7 mode version 8.2 or so. So 7 mode and 8.2 is the last 7 mode without cluster, I think, that Netapp had. And so we're going to install a simulator for that. So the first thing you got to do is you got to find that simulator. I did find it, and you want to go to support.netapp.com to get it. So let's take a look at that. And it's right there. So here is the name that you want to find of that simulator, and you can probably Google for it and find it. So you can most likely Google for this name here. I think it was a TGZ when I found it. So let's see first of all how findable this thing is for you people out there. So I want to say find this thing, and it's .tgz, I think, format. So okay, so people are looking for it. Anyway, I found it through some link that somebody posted here, and it wasn't easy to find, of course. Looks like I touched on this one and this one. So let's see if we can find it. Anyway, it's not easy to find, but maybe this works. So if I copy this link here, that looks like the one that I'm using. We're pretty close to it. I'm already logged in on the Chrome Explorer with cookies to Netapp. So if I type into Netapp support, so it's going to be my support. I think that could be the old site. Let's see what happens here. They have a new site and an old site. Let's see what this does. Okay, let's get on this baby. So it looks like that probably is going to work for you. So this is a URL that I'll save off and put in the video. So if I do an accept now, let's see if it works. And don't worry, we're going to install the whole thing here. So now it doesn't work. Anyway, that's how I got it. And they have like an old site, new site issue. So it's hard to find it, but you'll find it. And once you get it, you'll have it. So there it sits right there. Now I'm on Mac OS right now, or I'm on, it's basically Linux, what this Mac OS is. So if I do a tar and look at what's in this thing, here's what's in it. Again, this is 7 mode simulator version 8.2. So you're going to find all these files in it. And so what I did was I didn't bother untarring this thing on Linux or Mac OS. What you really want is this vmx file, and you want to get this whole thing up here to ESXi 6.5. So I'm running VMware ESXi 6.5. So just take this whole tar file here and SCP this thing up to your vCenter, or I'm sorry, your ESXi. So here I am on ESXi, and I did SCP this tar file up here of the simulator. So let's take a look, and we'll browse the storage here. There's the data store. Right click on data store and do a browse, and this is ESXi 6.5. And so what you'll see here is that I have that file, that tar file is right there. So now you're going to want to make sure that SSH is enabled on your ESXi 6.5, 6.7 instance on your host. In my case, I enabled it and I've logged into it as root. So I am now root on ESXi 6.7. Of course, it doesn't know what that is. But anyway, let's find out where data store is. Data store here is located there. So you want to do a CD into that space there. And that will get you pretty much to where the browsing is. And let's do it right. Okay, so now we are where the tar file is. And sure enough, there's a tar file. These blue items here are all VMs that I have on here now running. And so now we're going to make the simulator happen on here. So to do that, it's pretty darn easy. We're just going to untar this file. tar -xf. And we'll cut and paste this name here. And again, I'm logged in as root on the actual ESXi 6.7 instance, VMware. So untar that. Takes a minute. And that'll create a directory for this thing. Now, that directory that it creates is going to be the actual running directory of that VM. So it's pretty cool how this works. But once you untar that, and this was made for an earlier version of ESXi, so you don't really want to upgrade the simulator. What I'm saying is you don't want to bring this thing up to the latest VM instance by doing a VM upgrade. That will break it. That's why I'm reinstalling it right now, because I did that and I broke it. So you don't want to try and get this VM that's, I think, described in the vmx file up to the 6.7 style of VM. You will break it. So just run it the way it is. And once this is done, we're then going to deploy the vmx file and make a VM for 7 mode data on tap 8.2.5 or 8.2.1 or whatever this thing is. Okay. So I'm sorry this is taking some time. Again, we're untarring this file right here. And it's just taking some time. But what we're going to end up with is a blue directory here that's going to have the 7 mode filer files on there. So dum-da-dum-da-dum. Anyway, while that's chugging along. Oh, it's done. Okay, so ls-l, you'll see we'll have the directory now. So now we have the 7 mode showing up. So you could delete this tar file or not. I'm not going to bother deleting it. I'm just going to leave it there. So now we can cd into this thing here. And the structure of this machine will not change. We're going to find the vmx file. So this is the one you want. This tells it how to build the VM to make this run. So now you're done with this shell. You can just move this aside. And now you want to go back in this browser. We can do a refresh on it. You'll see there is our directory with our simulator from the tar file we untarred. We're going to jump in here, and there's the vmx file right there. So you click on that once, and I'll click on it again, and it won't do anything. So now we right-click on the file, do a right-click, and do a register VM. Okay, right there, register VM. And what that will do is over here, you'll see a new VM pop up eventually here. You may or may not, but trust me that it worked. So let's look over here for some more VMs. And let's see if it shows up. Oh, yep, it's right there. So yeah, it did show up. So there's your new VM. And what I found from doing this a few times is these network adapters are old style from whatever ESXi this was made from before. So you don't want to get rid of these. So before I boot this VM, and I've learned this through trial and error, I'm going to do an edit. And once I get in here, I'm going to delete all these. So here is network adapter 1. Going to delete it. Delete number 2. Delete number 3. And there's number 4. Delete that one. Now we have network adapters. So we're going to put some more in here now. Add network adapter. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. So trust me, this is good to do. This is what you want to do. Now we'll do a save on this. And what you'll see is these will all be now on the VM network connected. And that's what you want. Okay, so now we're ready to boot this guy. We could take another look at the settings here. Edit, edit, edit settings. What you don't want to do is upgrade the VM. So do not upgrade the VM. So we're at 2 CPUs. This thing is really light on memory. It doesn't take much memory, and I'm glad of that. I'm really glad this thing doesn't eat a lot of memory, so I'm happy with that. I'm not going to give it more cores. I'm just going to let it go. Don't change anything in here. You're all done. So do a save. Even though we changed nothing. Now, you're ready to boot, so click this twice and boot this guy up, or gal, or whatever it is. Okay, there it is booting up. You can make this bigger. So every time a Netapp simulator comes up, you should do a Control-C to boot it, and then reset the whole filer. So that's what we're going to do here. You never, of course, in production want to do this, but if you have an old filer that got thrown out, you could refresh it this way. So Control-C, and again, it's 7 mode. This works the same way as new stuff too. So Control-C it. It's not taken. Come on. What it usually says is it's going to let me do a boot menu here. Do it again. Come on. Oh, it restarted the machine. That's interesting. Let's see what happens this time with it. Come on. This is acting kind of wonky, isn't it? I'm going to wait for that boot prompt this time. Okay, now Control-C. Boom. There. So it worked this time. I'm not sure what happened to it, but anyway. And I'm trying to make the window bigger now, and I'm not getting anywhere. Maybe it doesn't like the window being bigger, and that goofed it up. Okay, number 4 here. You want to do a 4. And again, I got to click, hit 4. There it goes. So this takes a while, and it's going to reboot. So here we say, yes, I want to do a new file system. Yes, kill the data. And we're going to reboot now, and it'll wipe the machine out and change all the networking to 0. And we need to enter everything fresh. So let's do that with our VM here. This takes about 20-30 minutes to get this all right. So thanks for hanging out with me here. All right, so here don't do anything, just let it run. You can hit enter to let it go faster. Now you don't hit Control-C, just let it wipe everything out. So it's saying wipe file or procedure requested. It's going to wipe everything out. So let it do that. And I wonder if I can make a bigger window here with this thing. Nope. Sorry about that. I hope you guys can see this thing. Anyway, you just want to wipe. Let it wipe out. And what we're going to find is once this thing is running, we're going to have some problems because this thing was made in 2014 and it used SSH version 1 or SSL version 1. So you're going to have all sorts of problems with certificates and everything else to get on this thing with SSH. I think I've done this twice now over the weekend and the weekdays trying to get this right. And I have it down with science now, I guess. I did want to save a snapshot of this machine, and I tried to upgrade it because I couldn't do it. Okay, I'm going to call it 7 mode. I like that name, right? Just call it 7 mode. It wants the name of the host now. 7 mode. IP6, no. I'm terrible in IP6 anyway, so forget that. Interface groups, no. Okay, so this is the first adapter. There's 4 of these on this thing. So 192, I'm using this address a lot. 168.170. I've been using this 170 address for this thing, so that's fine for the net mask. And I've been taking defaults on these, so I just go auto on this one. And I'll go full on this thing. No jumbo frames, no thank you. Okay, so now I just do this like 3 more times and increment it. There's 171 and 172. Okay, that's about that. And we'll do 173. And that's about it. Okay, now you put your gateway in. If you want to use this thing out of your house and you're on the road somewhere, you want to put in the gateway, of course. Okay, this might be for like on command or something. I'm not going to worry about this. I just hit enter here, so I'm not going to use an admin host. Don't want to. Okay, the time here, I'm Pacific time, so I'm going to say America, capital A M E R I C A / Los Angeles. That puts me into Pacific time. The filer is on a VM. This thing I leave the same. No resolver. NIS client, no. And hit enter and it'll start working. All right, I don't know what this means or care about it, so no SAS on this thing. Okay, so let's put a password in here now. Use a really good password like Netapp. 123, right? Netapp 123. Easy as that. And it's going to come up now. So it's going to start configuring, and it says now log in. It will let us log in, but it's also going to go through a bunch of setup stuff. So just give it a minute, let it run through all the stuff. And what we'll want to do first of all is get SSH with this thing working, so that from our Linux or Windows PuTTY or from our Mac OS, we can SSH into this thing and use it. That is what we want to do, right? Okay, so it's kind of slowing down here. So this thing is defaulting to root, so the username is root in this account on the console, on the serial console. So we'll put in Netapp 123. And what we want to do now is get SSH working, so we aren't going to be fiddling around with this console on VMware, right? So here's what you have to do. And I'll bring up a new window for that. So you will not be able to SSH in this thing until you degrade your SSH to accept older protocols, right? So remember, this machine's from 2014 and SSH, SSL has moved on. So you want to go into .ssh here. And in here, you make a file called configure or config. And so this I made before, but it's important to show it to you. Okay, so take a look at this. Now here is what you do. For each of your connections or interfaces on the 7-mode filer, there's 4 of them. I've put this ciphers in here. I'm only going to log into this thing using this IP here. You probably don't need this here because I don't think anything's going to log into those. These are more or less for data, but here you want to put in the ciphers and these Kex algorithms of this stuff here to make the filer work. And you think that would be enough, but oh no, it's not. So, okay, the filer is running. Let's try and get to it. And what do you think is going to happen? Okay, well, you want to be root on here. Okay, in all fairness, it's not fair to do this yet. We have to get this filer. As I was using this before, we have to go in here and knock out the old key for the filer. Let's do that. So inside here, you'll see 170, right? We gotta knock it out. If it's in here somewhere, there it is. We're knocking that one out. And now we're going to try to get to the filer, the 7 mode filer. So now we'll try and get there and watch what happens. Invalid key length. Okay, so isn't that so nice? So now we're stuck again using the console. So what this means is we have to put 2048 length keys on the filer. So to do that, we get, and look what happened here. It said the filer can't understand the SSH. So all well and good. So let me look at my phone here. I took a picture of the command I need to use this thing. So I kept it on my phone. Let me dig that out of my phone here. Okay, the command I need is secureadmin setup -f SSH. So let's type that command in, secureadmin setup -f SSH. Now, once this is all in here, you can make new keys at a better length. All right, so it's saying, aha, you can't do that. So let's disable these. We can say options. And I know this from doing it so many times now to make this thing work. Options, or option disable, option SSH1, disable, I think that'll work. No, let's try options. Options SSH1 disable. Okay, so that was off, so that's good. Can we do SSH2? SSH2 dot enable. So what's cool about Netapp is it helps you with the commands because I'm terrible with them, so it kind of gives you hints, which is probably why they succeeded. And I think I go like this. Okay, so it doesn't like the word set. All right, so that worked for SSH2. Let's turn off SSH1. Okay, now they're both off. Let's now go back to that command where we make a new key. And there it is. So now we'll say yes, let's make new keys. It'll save the old keys. Not that I want them. So here, put in 2048. You don't want little tiny keys. Here, put in 1024. Here, put in 2048. And go ahead and take it. And it says that it's starting up the services automatically. Now look what it said here. Assign unowned disk. So it gives us a hint that something's wrong here, which is good for me. Okay, assign unknown disks. I think we say disk assign all or something like that. Let's try that. Disk all. Let's do that. Okay, good. That makes all of our disks go from spares to assigned. That's a good thing. Okay, now let's try to SSH into this thing. So we're going to pull this console away. Here's our old window we had. And we'll say SSH root at 192.168.1.170. And that's a good sign, right? Because now it's saying, yeah, I agree. So let's put the password in, which is Netapp123. Okay, and now we're on the filer. So basically this window with SSH is pretty much the same commands as this one here. And it pretty much gets the same console output too. So it's kind of a mirror of this window, which is really good. So that's what we'll do here. So now the trick is we want to see if we can run some commands on this thing. And so we want to do some enabling of options. So I think if we just say options here, OPTIONS, let's see options. Let's see what's going on here. I know I want to turn on some stuff. So let's see, SSL enabled. So all the stuff's enabled, which is good. SSH1 is off, that's fine. 2 is on. And there's some stuff with web that I want to do on here too. Let's see if we can find that HTTP stuff on here. I haven't needed yet to do much with licensing. Okay, here we go. So this I'm going to turn on. So this option we're going to enable. Turn that one on. What else? That one is good. Okay, I don't care about those. So yeah, we want to turn on stuff here. So we want to turn on all of this HTTP stuff. So we'll turn on the daemon and we'll turn on the admin. Turning on admin might turn the daemon on. Probably it'll make us do this first. So let's do this first. And actually, let's see, we can just go over here and do it. Let's bring up another window maybe. Okay, here we go. And see if I can make it a little bigger. 192.1 root. I don't know if we can log in twice. Actually, can we get on to 171? Let's try that. Yes, we can. Maybe, right? Password is going to be Netapp. Okay, too many people are logged in, so that's not going to work. Okay, well, options and so we got a hold of this one. Let's go down here. Get the command that worked. Let's see, options, enable. Don't want that. Don't want that one either. Okay, let's find it again. Okay, options. Okay, that brings that up. Let's get the other command now. It's too bad I can't use grep on this thing. I don't think I can. Okay, so what's off here? That's, we turn that on. Let's turn this one on too. And that could be all we need. This, I think we can leave alone. Okay, and what that will do, okay, off, what? Okay. Okay, now we also want to mess around with TLS here and turn that on, as I recall. So, okay, SSH access, SSH password on, good. Port SSL we care about here, enable on, V2, V3, okay, that's good. There is a TLS here, enable, let's turn that on too. TLS enable on. Okay, so there's the console stuff I told you about. So TLS enable on. Okay, that's good. Now from here, if we're lucky, we could control this thing from using Python now if we're lucky. So I'm thinking that's what we can do now. That's what I want to do. So I can't remember what else I did here that was relevant, but I think this is all we have to do. We really have to make an agger on this thing, and I don't remember how to do that. Let's look it up. 7 mode. Create an agger. I know we gotta do that. Let's see what command it is. I think I did this way. Create agger. And I think I can just say disks, some number of disks. Minus n is number of, no. We could say Netapp create agger name and just call it something. Let's see what happens. It'll tell us what we need usually. That's a cool thing about Netapp. You can be like a beginning and end and get through it. Create agger name. Create agger name AGDR1. And if I say that, it's probably going to say you're missing something. Yeah, it did. Okay, so that's good. There's agger 1. Okay, so I don't care about that. Disks or size. Disk list. Disk name, disk name, disk name. I don't want to do that. I just want to do a number of disks. I want to use them all actually. PT. Okay, it's either n disks. Okay, so let's do n disks. How many disks are on this thing, I wonder? Let's try 30 disks. See what that does. Okay, so how do I say disk list here? Disk list. Maybe I just punch it in there. Okay, minus T. Minus T. RAID 4. Put in 30 disks. Will that work? Nope. Nope. And I'm not going to guess anymore. People call them agger 1, so create agger 1 example. Let's cheat. How about somebody on a blog? On a blog. Okay, let's try this guy here. Oh. Create agger minus R8 minus D. Wow. He's listing them all out. Minus R8. Let's try that. Minus R8. Minus R8. Let's try 20. Ooh, that worked. All right. We got an agger here. So once we have an agger, then we can do things from Python. We can make volumes and all that, but there was also, I had to add the volume and agger or something. Anyway, let's see if we can do anything. I have some pre-canned Python here I've been playing with, and the reason why I have this filer running is I want to try 7 modes from Python. So let's see what we can do here. There's a Python program I'm fiddling with here. And let me get this thing in the viewport. All right, we're in the viewport of this thing, of this session. So I've been fiddling here. And, okay, this is in 7 mode. Let me go back to where I was fooling with 7 mode here. and see if we can do any good. 7 mode version, here it is. So here's the 7 mode I'm fooling with here. And I was curious if I could use the 7 mode stuff on CDOT. And so I had a CDOT login up there. So I'm going to re-enable this 7 mode. And what happened was I messed up my 7 mode by trying to upgrade the VM to 6.7 VMware style VM, and it blew up my simulator. So I remade the whole simulator and I made a video for you guys to show you how to do it. Okay, so we can make volumes 7 mode here. We can offline them, we can destroy them. So let's see what we can do here. Here I was making 10 volumes. So let's see if that'll work this time. Gonna comment these out. And let's make sure this is all right. So it's gonna go here to 170. 1,8 is correct for what we're using for our style of any server filer. Oh yeah. So look, this did not work. So I have to disable SSL. I was not able to make this work with SSL. So that's one more thing we have to do here on the filer. We have to go to options. And in production, you don't want SSL disabled, believe me. You don't want SSL disabled, but this is the only way I made this work for now. And probably have to, in production, put in harder and better ciphers and keys. So, but for now, for doing development, I'm going to turn this thing off. So, going to turn, let's see, SSL off. I don't know if I want to do it that way, or it's up here somewhere with HTTP stuff. Let me see where it was. Uh, okay. Access legacy, admin enable on. Okay, yeah, this one I went off because this does not work yet. We need to put in stronger SSL here, and I can't get this to agree with the SSL from the year 2020 back to the year 2014. So it's kind of like the movie Back to the Future. Things in 1950 don't work. Same with this thing. So turn this off. Options off. Okay, so what that means is the port 443 is off, port 80 is on, and we should be good to go with our Python. So now over here, we have the agger named correctly. So our agger is named agger1, right? So let's see here. Well, first of all, we should see if we can get the ONTAP version. Let's just do that first, right? That makes the most sense. See if that little thing works. So let's take this off of here. Off of here. Didn't want to do that. Okay, comment that out. So how do we get the version? We simply go up here and I think I was running that code. Okay, so this will print the version out, I think automatically. So let's just run the code now and see what it does. Run the code. Okay, so wow, this is great. So after all this trouble, we are connecting to our 7-node filer. And that makes me happy. So let's see now if we can create 10 volumes in a row. This was working before I destroyed the filer. So we're just going to make 7-mode volume create. There's a volume name. We're going to append the name to it, 1 through 10. And there's our volume create here, right there. So that's going to do a create. It's going to use agger1, which we have. Tiny little volumes, use the name volume. We passed in up here. Pretty easy, right? Let's see if it'll work. If this works, it'll spit out a bunch of passes, okay? Okay, pass, pass. Okay, so it's making volumes. So it's working. So if we're on the filer, looks like it did it. If we go back to the filer on SSH here, volume, does this work like this? No, wouldn't be that easy. I'm not really a, oh man, just want to see my volumes, people. I think it's easier using Python for me than using this thing here. I would think the command list would be great. There's stats, Q-tree. If I'm on cluster CDOT, I can use the GUI. But this thing has no GUI unless you connect it up to command or something. Some admin program, which I don't want to do. That overcomplicates it. Version. There's a version command. That'd be fun to try out and see what version, if it agrees. vfiler. I think that vfiler command's it actually. Okay. vfiler. Well, that's not it. Storage. Storage. Yeah, that might be it. Well, anyway, this isn't helpful to you. You probably know this command, so I don't know this command. Let's ask Google. Do it the easy way. On command. Let's see, let's try data. List volumes. Volume show. Volume show. This sounds like it's 9. I don't want 9. I want old stuff. Data on tab. 7 mode. List volumes. Vol status. How nice. Alright, that's it. Vol status. VOLSTATUS. Alright, and there's our volumes right there. They're online. They're probably not mounted yet, I wouldn't think. Alright, let's see if we can kill them off now. Alright, we made some volumes. Now we're going to try and delete them. So let's do that. Comment this out. Comment that out. Uncomment this. And I know I got to offline them first, and then I can destroy them. So it might be fun to just offline them first, right? Let's do that. So we'll offline them first, and then we'll do destroy. How's that? Okay, I don't know what that's complaining about, but let's run the program. So it's killing off, it's offlining our volumes. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, look at that. So it's saying, yeah, I am feeling it, brother. So there's our status. They're all offline. Let's nuke them. So now we're going to, through automation, kill off these volumes. So I'm going to uncomment the destroy command. Goodbye, volumes. It's been nice knowing you. So now you can see over here, it's saying destroy, 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 destroyed. They're all gone, people. Okay, well, this lengthy video that has gone on forever was very slow and monotonous. I realize that, but I hope that it helps you understand a little bit about the ancient 7 mode from 2014 in case you have to automate some old 7 modes to migrate them up to CDOT or AWS or Azure or some cloud type thing. So peace out. Talk to you later.